Hello friends, today we'll be reading a little bit of Emily Dickinson. I'm telling you ahead of time, this one's not very good. This was written in 1858. Here we go. One sister have I in the house, and one a hedge away. There's only one recorded, but both belong to me. One came the road that I came, and wore my last year's gown. The other as a bird her nest builded our hearts among. She did not sing as we did, it was a different tune. Herself to her a music, as bumblebee of June. Today is far from childhood, but up and down the hills I held her hand the tighter, which shortened all the miles. And still her hum the years among deceives the butterfly, and in her eye the violets lie mouldered this May. I split the dew, but took the morn. I chose the single star. From out the wide night's numbers, sue forevermore. That's the poem. Now, what does it mean? I'm not entirely sure, but I think I have an idea. In this poem, the speaker states that she has two sisters, and one of them is like more knowable than the other. One of them is more material, more tactile than the other, and the other one is more mystical and like nature-like, like almost like a fairy, perhaps. I think here Dickens is always interested in splitting the obvious, the known, the measurable from the unobvious, the less known, the unquantifiable. She's interested in splitting these two things, and then she highlights the latter. She highlights that which is more difficult to know. So I think here that the two sisters represent perhaps like two parts of the self, two versions of her. Let's read it one more time, and this time I will stop to comment. One sister have I in the house, and one a hedge away. There's only one recorded, but both belong to me. All right, so two sisters, one in the house and one a hedge away, right? So there's one that's close to her, one that's more like obvious perhaps, and another one that's like somewhere over there. There's some distance, it's gone. And one of them is recorded, so one of them is counted. One of them has been, recorded, but the other one has not. Yet still, they both belong to her. So I think two parts of the self, two parts of the identity. One came the road that I came, and wore my last year's gown. The other, as a bird her nest builded our hearts among. So here we see again, the first sister goes with the speaker. If the speaker goes on this road, that sister goes on the road with her. The sister, is easier to pinpoint. Now the other sister, and let me just say, the first sister, the knowable sister, it says here, wore my last year's gown. So I think, that there's an implication there of like similarity. There's an implication of like direct relatedness, where this other sister also wears human clothing. This other sister is a reflection of the speaker, right? Or a version of the speaker. Where was I? And then this second sister is described in these lines: the other as a bird her nest, building our hearts among. So the other sister is likened to a bird, rather than being described, is likened to a bird, is likened to the natural. Builded our hearts among. Among what? I'm not sure. She did not sing as we did. It was a different tune. Herself to her a music as bumblebee of June. So the second sister is described as she did not sing as we did, so she's different. It was a different tune. Herself to her a music as bumblebee of June. So her own melody, her own music, her own song is her, just who she is, or perhaps what she is, the noise she's making, or perhaps how she behaves. To her, that's the song. That's the yeah, you know what I mean. What's this button do? Whoa. Okay. Anyway. Today is far from childhood, but up and down the hills I held her hand the tighter, which shortened all the miles. So I think this is again referring to that second sister. The second sister, the one likened to the natural world. Today is far from childhood, but up and down the hills I held her hand the tighter, which shortened all the miles. So she stays connected to this second sister, this perhaps childlike version of herself, this perhaps more natural and less measurable version of herself, perhaps like the childhood of magic. She holds on to it through ups and the downs, and it's made the journey feel shorter. It's made the journey feel more doable. It goes on, and still her hum the years among deceives the butterfly, and in her eye the violets lie, mouldered this many May. So again, she's likened to nature. In her eye the violets lie. It goes on, I split the dew, but took the morn. I chose this single star from out the wide night's numbers, sue forevermore. Yeah, I'm not sure about this last stanza right here. I'm not sure. I split the dew, but took the morn. I chose this single star. I think the single star is referring to the second sister. From out the wide night's numbers, sue forevermore. Was Sue her actual sister? I don't know. I think Sue might have been her sister. I don't know. I'm not sure. Anyway, that's Emily Dickinson. She wrote this in 1853. I believe she was 28 when she wrote this. Not loving this one. That's all I have to say.